Okay, we've got updated Collector's Cage, this time with Salt Road Packbeast. 6 mana, 4/3, costs 1 less for each creature you control. Deck puts a lot of creatures into play really quickly. It's also like just not the worst hit off of a Cage or a Windbrisk Heights. Obviously it's not great, but helps the momentum there. Yeah, I might look at Devoted Druid also. I kind of wish there was a way to overlap the Devoted Druid deck and Fanatic of Rhonos. They just combo with different cards. So we do have 2 lands here because we've got the Witch Enchanter. Obviously the Emrakul is kind of like a mulligan to 6, but it's a pretty good mulligan to 6. Gonna lead on the Ocelot here. Yeah, like the fact that like you can bin Nature's Rhythm off Rumble, and you can also like mill Fanatic. Maybe you can play the blue Harmonized card. I feel like there's something there, but I don't exactly know what that something is. Alright, pretty sure we just play the Voice of Victory this turn. You know what? No, I think we should Collector's Cage just because we don't have the 3rd mana to maybe activate it next turn. Okay, we hit Emeria's Call. Yeah, I do think Voice of Victory is really good in this deck. I agree. See if they're going to pick up the Solitude or not. They do pick up the Solitude. So land will be really nice. We can go Voice of Victory so we can just collect. We can Collector's Cage through a Solitude. Any thoughts to March of Burgeoning Life in the Temur Crier combo deck? What would you... Is that better than any other card we have? I feel like it's only good when Crier is in play, and it's like not meaningfully better than Green Sun Zenith. You still can? Well, it costs 2 mana to play this. It costs 1 mana to activate the Cage, so it seems like we can't. Yeah, I can activate the Cage, but I was talking about activating the Cage through Solitude. That's what Voice of Victory let us do. Seems good enough to keep. So if I target here, I'll have 0, 1, 2. So that's 3 different powers and toughnesses. And if they have another Solitude, you know, it's not the worst case for us. All right, yeah, not the worst case. Just make them Solitude an Ornithopter, and we still have the Emeria's Call coming down next turn. Oh. Okay, interesting. They can Solitude there, and then that breaks it up. So if I had targeted... Yeah, I guess there wasn't a better target. Alright. No 3rd Solitude, thankfully. Yeah, I don't think any other Red Titan can really ever be printed. Like, just with how Flage is with Arena of Glory, I think you don't want to print another Red Titan, but you could maybe print a different color Titan. What's the Emrakul for? To cast off Collector's Cage or Emeria's Call. Yeah, I think any Titan that has red in it is just kind of a non-starter. So also like Titan has like red already has 2 Titans, so like you want to give it to another color combination potentially if you feel like Titans are even like interesting design space, you know what I mean? Like these cards, like the escape mechanic was not a very good mechanic, and it was, you know, with Uro and Breachband, I probably just never want to see another escape card. I don't know, or at least not another Titan. All right, here's what the Emrakul is for. How do you say between Emrakul or Hoof? So, if there's room for Force of Virtue in your build, then you play Hoof, because then that gives you a way to get it out of your deck. But if you're not playing it, then it's just, I think, better to play the Emrakul. Escape would be fine if it came with a finality counter. Yeah, there's another thing about Escape. Like, if you could exile Uro in response or Flage in response to the casting cost, like if they if they spent the mana and then you could surgical it, or you could scavenging ooze, or you could like endurance it, it would be escape would be way worse because then you could like make them sink the mana into it. But the fact that it immediately goes into the stack, I also think is pretty problematic. It's like definitely like a little like no one talks about that so much, but like I do wonder like would Uro even be like would it be banned? Because at the very least if it was templated that way, there would be there would be good cards against Uro, which is like of course one of the big problems is there's not really good cards against Uro. All right, so we'll see if they have another removal spell. Nope. Emrakul the Aeons Jordan. We won match 2. We played pretty clean. And you're lucky we play pretty clean too, because imagine you come in here, how match 2 go, no more punts, and I'm like, I'm sorry, we punted a lot. I'm so sorry. Please don't leave. Alright, I think we bring in the orbs and we cut the Packbeasts, which obviously feels kind of bad, but Torpor Orb is very good against Orzhov. Thankfully, the answer is no more puns. Which mechanic is worse, escape or retrace? Escape, of course. There's 2 banned escape cards. I don't think there are any banned retrace cards. Fleeing another going for appropriate power level with escape. Sure, I mean, like there are appropriate power storm cards. Like you can always have balanced cards with mechanics, but just like the mechanic itself, it is in my opinion one of these kind of silly mechanics that doesn't really add much to the game. So I'm playing this just so I can attack if they don't have so I can attack if they have Felia, or this tells me if they have Felia or not. Okay. Well, they have the Felia, but they just got time walked. Hideaway is an ETB, but it's not a creature ETB. Okay, Voice of Victory is really good when it just time walks your opponent. It didn't have to time walk them here, but I do like that. You know, there are plenty of like balanced cards with every mechanic, but it's just like a lot of this stuff. It's like you're playing with fire, especially with a card like Uro and Underworld Breach. It's like, you know, certainly a different era, but an era that was pretty avoidable. So they play Ketchamos. First time I've seen Ketchamos in a little while. We played the Sultai Rec deck. It was okay. I think the Bance build we have is going to end up being better. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we need to go for the Cage and see an Emrakul. I'll take it Emeria's Call. Oh no, sorry. We're not going to be able to trigger the... We're not going to be able to trigger the Emeria's Call because we're not going to have the different powers here. We have Kitty's Blessing. We get to keep these tokens, so that's at least something good. But I should have played the Ajani, and then I would have had 2 extra cat tokens here. And then we could have done the Cage next turn. Hard to be feeling too bad here unless they Wrath of Skies me, I guess. I know you don't want any more Titans. I need something in Esper colors so my pet deck can finally be good. Well, you just play Esper Gorios. Why don't you play Brain Surge to stack the top for Cage? Oh, I've been thinking a lot about Brain Surge and Breaching Dragonstorm lately. I need to stop. It does not seem to be doing anything. Okay, so they get the Witch Enchanter to kill my Cage. They kind of have to have Solitude Ephemerate to be alive, and they have to main phase it. Yeah, sorry, Brandon. Sorry, Panda. Bio Prodigy the 35. Finally, Just Guy's eating good. Yeah, it's been pretty nice. They ephemerate the Wisp, which is going to put them down to 7. Are they going to exile a token? Whether the escape card is banned besides Uro? Underworld Breach, which is banned in Legacy, Modern, and Pioneer. Yeah, Voice of Victory was awesome this game, but also because my opponent punted really badly into it. I don't know how this game looks like if they have their Felia in play or whatever, but I guess Ajani first does do something. I'm pretty sure we jumped the Voice of Victory. But they're just dead, right? Anyways. I do think Voice of Victory was my one big miss. I just didn't think it would end up being playable, but it is pretty good, I think. But I think this being a good playable card is a pretty good sign for the health of Modern at the moment. If you were to build this with Force of Virtue, Moonshaker, you cut Emrakul's for Shaker, but you cut for Force. I mean, yeah, that's kind of your problem to figure out. You know what I mean? And that's why I haven't included it, because there isn't a card I would play it over. But if you disagree and you think there is a card you'd play it over, then that's your thing. But for me, I just wouldn't right now, and this is why I play this build. Like the Packbeast, I think is really awkward with Force of Virtue. So I guess Packbeast would be the card. I mean, you're the only one that can solve your problems, but maybe I could give you advice. I think I need the heights here. All right, there's Emmy. Now, one big unfortunate thing is that Voice of Victory, my understanding is that even though these creatures enter attacking, you didn't declare attackers with them, so it doesn't trigger the heights. But we can still go for the turn 3 Emrakul by playing Ajani plus Memnite next turn. Okay, they flip it on Holy Heat here. Maybe it was better to go for the Voice, but kind of like just getting the 2 for 1. Another Unholy Heat, another dead Ajani. That's a great draw. Gonna be very tough for my opponent. I mean, we could get Blood Moon, I guess, but shy of Blood Moon, I'm not really sure what they do. Maybe they can flare this? Okay, they can flare this. Never doubt Sven, I guess. They're going to need 2 removal spells, or a Blood Moon, or a Fire Ice. Okay, there's the mana for a second removal spell. Now, if I draw a land, I'm going to cast the Collector's Cage first, which we didn't draw, so we go to combat. We know you have 1 Unholy Heat. Okay, well, GG. I guess they could have Subtlety. Be pretty sad. But then we could Collector's Cage, right? Alright, no Subtlety. I think I'm just running it back. I'm kind of sad we haven't drawn a Packbeast yet, but we are 1-0 up a game, which is good. Yeah, I think against Izzet, I don't want the flares. Just run it back. How long till the next round of the challenge? Still 2 matches. Ooh, okay, this could be turn 2 Emrakul. So I think we did do the turn 2 Emrakul one time. At the very least, we've had the option a few times, and they just always kill one of my 0 drops. Okay, we didn't hit. We hit a cage, though. What's kind of fun about this is it makes them like bolt a Memnite, and then we get to play Ajani. Spike, when am I going to turn 1 Emrakul in Modern? It's pretty tough these days. Not impossible anymore. You know, I've Aether Vialed Emrakul into play. I've casted turn 2 a bunch in this deck. Or once in this deck, I think, and also a bunch in the Timeless Lotus decks. But I don't think I've ever cast it turn 1 in Modern. I have in Cube a couple times. Oh, no, we have turn 1 Goryo's Emrakul. I'm pretty sure. Or at least we've had the ability to do it. Maybe we didn't pull it off. Alright, let's go to combat. Let's see if they counter my Collector's Cage. Basic Mountain is grabbed. Flame of Anor? Okay, unfortunately I don't have the non-tap land, but Emeria's Call is pretty good. No, you can do turn 1 Goryo's Emrakul without Simian Spirit Guide. Okay, there's an Emrakul. It's pretty fun. What you do is you go you have to be on the draw, but you go on their turn, Gemstone Caverns, pitching an Emrakul. Wait, hold on. I forget how it works. Oh no, Ugorio's Ulamog. It's Ulamog. You can put Ulamog in the yard on your first turn by casting the card that puts the card from your exile into your graveyard. So you can either exile Ulamog with Devourer, Serum Powder, or Gemstone Caverns, then cast it, then untap Angorios. But it actually doesn't work with Emrakul, huh? So they cast Flame of Anor, but they draw 2. Yeah, with a Cookbook and 2 Opals, you can do a turn 1. Not that turn 1 Emrakul is like that good, especially if you're on the play, because it's just like I use my entire hand to make you lose 15 life, and then you can just do continue your life. Yeah, Pull from Eternity. Thank you. What's wrong with me? I can't remember the card. Pull from Eternity. Okay, 1 match still in progress in the challenge. Hopefully we can bounce back from that round 1 punt. How do you feel about clearing Conqueror in the Ritual sideboard over an Oof? I mean, it's a lot easier to sack a 1 into a 2 in that deck. Alright, I go to combat. We bait with Emeria's Call, I guess. Because maybe they have like Consign for the extra turn trigger, although I don't really know how Izzet is beating an onboard Emrakul very often. Maybe Otawara, so like Consign into Otawara. Sync also kind of good to play around here. Alright, mono white deck, Emeria's Call, Emrakul. So fun. I love this deck. Dude, Invert Polarity, that would have been cool. I do think Sven sometimes does play it. Voice plus Emrakul seems better. Yeah, I guess just playing Voice is better, huh? I mean, I do sure like to cast Emeria's Call for 1 mana, though. One of my all-time pet decks. Sven probably writing a nice comment for us in chat here. While he does, I'm going to fill up my water bottle, I guess. How do you feel about the idea of Cutter or Chancellor of the Forge and Cage? Chancellor of the Forge is crazy, I think, but Steel Cutter could be good. We've got some Boros builds. I think we're probably not great against Black-White, but I think it's kind of good to some extent to have Black-White have a good matchup again. Felt like it was not happening for a little bit. Usually I like to put another Hideaway card underneath the Hideaway cards over like an Ocelot Pride, although maybe Pride is better because I have double guide. And this unlikely to be a big deal either way. Good turn 1. They have Ensnaring Bridge. I guess I have Witch Enchanters? Huh. Alright, they have 4 cards in their hand at least. Alright, so I guess we play the Collector's Cage and then see if we want to play this as a land or not. How many, I think, I can't remember if I'm on 2 or 3 Witch Enchanters. 3. They also have, well, 4 cards in their hand. Such a weird spot. I think hoping that they can't empty their hand enough isn't the most realistic, but it's also maybe not the worst plan. Yeah, so I think I want to leave the Ornithopter available because that's going to be possibly a 4-point punch next turn if they do empty their hand. So they're like War Prison. They're down to 8. They have 3 cards left though, so no Angels attacking in the outfield. 2 cards, so I can attack with just these now. And they've played a second Ensnaring Bridge by turn 3. I also have the Collector's Cage damage. Should have given all guide buffs to Ornithopter probably. I mean, no, because we want to save the Ornithopter because we can attack with when they have zero attackers. Like I'm even this turn just gonna put the pump on the guide here, or on the Memnite rather. All right, so they kind of predictably chump block. Yeah, we might be able to set up for like Collector's Cage activation. Oh, no. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't attack with 3 creatures. Duh, sorry. Sorry about that. What makes Packbeast better than Knight Errant of Eos? I mean a few things like one it's kind of one big problem that on turns where you have a bunch of creatures, you kind of like need to okay, I guess we could have maybe drawn into the Warden. I don't feel like the Warden's that important. Okay, if I draw this Esper Sentinel, I can get 3 energy, which is not enough to like jump this a bunch. So yeah, I don't think this matters that much. They have a portable hole on top. That's pretty good. Just getting lanterned, I guess. Can we lose to lantern with the Emrakuls in the deck? Huh. It's a good question. Picks his exiles? Sure, but like, can they still deck me before I deck? Like I can just start discarding Emrakuls to hand size too. I'm down to play this game. I'm down to play this game, see if they can win. Check brews? Yeah, if y'all got decks, I'll take a look. I think I forgot to drop from the challenge. Has this been good? The Sea Cradle Witch tech for the Sanctum Weaver? I know we talked about it a little bit. I'm surprised you're not trying out the new non-creature Coco, but I do kind of think that card is like not that interesting. Well, it's down to 5. Hasn't been bad with so many games. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, seems interesting. I'm a big hater of like the solitary confinement package, but it's, you know, it's whatever. You can play it. I don't think it's very good. They thought seize themselves here. I might. It's okay. It's okay. Play the Esper Sentinel? No, because then they can make me draw more cards, which I don't want. And I also need to get to 8 cards in hand to discard to hand size. What are these Nantukos doing here? Copy Thundertrap Trainers? You copy Grazers so you can put extra lands into play? Okay, so Nantuko on a Grazer with Tamashi Lotus is infinite mana. This looks pretty fun. Alright, we get to take a game action for the first time in like 10 turns. Yeah, we're dead in the Chally. Unfortunately, our misclick earlier really cost us, I think. Can you beat this opponent? They may... oh, there's still an Emrakul on top after shuffling. Okay, they do have a Pixis. Now, I just don't know if they're playing stupid, like, Academy. It's looking pretty cool. I think I'll wait on discarding this Emrakul because I'm probably not drawing another Emrakul for this whole game because it's just gonna get Pixis, right? Oh no, I need to put my stops back on because if there's an Emrakul on top, I need to sack the Horizon Canopy. I gotta play the game. It sucks. Oh. No, they got it. Dang it. How many Emrakul? I still have one Emrakul left, so I guess we'll just play for that one then. They can also thought seize this Emrakul. Should we play planes in case we want to draw a witch? Well, the thing is they have 3 ensnaring bridges. Although, I guess... yeah, I guess there's not much reason to not play a planes here. It seems unlikely they'll let us draw a witch, of course. They Codex Shredder back and Urza's Saga. Okay. They have 20 cards. I have 37. I'm waiting to tap this to draw until the other Emrakul is revealed, of course. Yeah, I know to witch the Pixis, but we're also not going to draw a witch if there is one. It's so funny their Tamiya Ultimate is just so actively bad for them. Jazz, the 7 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Now, I don't think I want to play the Heights because I do just want to be shuffling more cards into my deck. I think these Ornithopters can just be lethal. I feel like it's a little risky. We don't... I don't know. Okay, they get back Thoughtseize. And then presumably they Thoughtseize my Emrakul. How long since they lost a clock? I think it's happened twice ever on the stream. I can't tell you when the last time was, but I'm pretty sure it's happened twice all time. Maybe more, but any other time would have been like due to like Magic Online issues, which I don't know if you count those. But like actual just I ran out of time. I think it's been exactly twice. Okay, so I do need to play 3 creatures. So I can jump 3, or I guess use all 3 Guide of Souls. But I guess yeah. Even if they put a Shadow Spear on their Tamiya, I don't know if they're playing Shadow Spear. I think we're just kind of doing it. What a fucking game, dude. We can ult Ajani too. Yeah, I didn't think about Ajani ult being really good against them, but it is, huh? So they shuffle their own library. There's a dead Delta, which they draw. Why did they draw that? I guess they just didn't want to cast the Emeria and deck themselves. Haywire Might. So Haywire Might lets them be at 3 life. And then they can block the big, or they replayed the Ornithopter. Okay, the Haywire Might. Okay. Okay, I guess we're back. To not attacking. Because this will have 3 power and this will have 1. And they just chump and then we can't do anything. So yeah, I don't really see a lot of reason to do anything. This is Magic the Gathering, baby. They also down to just 1 Codex Shredder, which is kind of embarrassing. They have 13 cards left in their library after they draw Emery, although they really do not want to draw Emery. So they milled themselves, which is great for me. And then there's another Emery on top. This is amazing. Also, couldn't they not have cast the Shredder again? Attack with 1 and force the chump. I mean, force the chump does literally nothing, so I feel like I'm just chilling instead. Can't they just? Yeah, they can. They can also keep miting and keep gaining life, which this seems to be their plan for some reason. This is not the worst plan. I mean, we'll see if they have the Academy. Someone in chat says they usually play Academy, but I don't think there really is a usual Lantern list anymore, you know? We have 2 Emrakuls still in the deck, and because we have this Horizon Canopy, we can save it from the Pixis. So they go down to... Wait, is it their turn? Yeah, sorry. Kind of hard to tell, since no one's doing anything. They get another Lantern instead of another Shredder, which... is interesting. It's because there's another Lantern on top. They may also just be worried about their clock because it's game 1 and they're on 14 minutes. Yeah, people always go, you know, as Richard Garfield intended and whatever. It is very funny that, like, the game sometimes looks like this, you know? You know, of course, it does not very often look like this, but I think it's kind of special that it can. So they're back down to 2. They shuffle the Lantern of Insight. They failed to find on the fetch land. 3 basics is good to know. I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring in the Phantoms or not. Probably not. Better than Mage of the Game. But yeah, honestly, I think it's kind of refreshing to get to play like a really weird game like this sometimes. I'm not hating. Okay, well, they let me draw a Collector's Cage, so I'm going to cast it. Okay, we didn't hit a Witch Enchanter. Not that it would be that important, I guess. Ooh. Okay, so I just wait for them to Pixis, and then I cast the Packbeast. Do we have outs? Yeah, we're trying to deck them. Funny. Okay, now this is our first time playing Packbeast. And this is a really good representation of what it's going to be like to play with this card, in my opinion. Okay, they shuffle the Emrakul. This is an incredible representation of what it's like to play with the Packbeast in Modern. Okay, so there's an Emrakul. So I have 2 Emrakuls left in my deck. This is one of them. And this one is gonna get Pixis. But the Pixis puts them down to 6 cards in their deck. I still have 26. And I have another Emrakul that I can protect with my Canopy. Okay, everything just flashed on the screen. I couldn't keep up. Oh, I can ultimate the Ajani too. Not that it does that much, but... Okay, I'm also confused. Okay, so they played a Lantern from the graveyard. They activated a Lantern targeting me. There's still an Emrakul on top. Why didn't they just Pixis the Emrakul, though? I don't understand why they didn't just Pixis the Emrakul. Okay, now they've Pixis the Emrakul. I think we should have played Outland. No, I needed to not play Outland so I could discard the hand size. Johnny ult makes him stack everything except the bridge. Yeah, I mean, I guess when I say does it do that much, is that a lot? I don't know. I guess it is because we get an Ornithopter back. Well, we might just actually win this game via damage. So I should still have one Emrakul left. Shout out Cavalier, huh? Wait, who? Okay, they shuffled themselves, and there's an Emeria on top, which is devastating for them, and they concede the game. Surely they just concede the match. Surely they just concede this match. Nah, I run it back. They have to have surgicals on the sideboard. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They got 12 minutes on the clock. Good luck to them. I want to draw. They rolled the 6. Do I finish Saga? I think no. You could bring them in. I think every other card is better. I think I just want to play the Sentinel. Then we can go Warden, activate Warden next turn maybe. Alright, well they found their ensnaring bridge again. So we're in for a fun game. Unironically. They hit 2 bridges, so my 1 Witch Enchanter is not going to get them. I wonder what they go after here. They go after the Sentinel, okay. So we open to draw a creature. They're shredding themselves. Looking for a 0 for Emeria, I guess. So I could play the Packbeast this turn if I play Ornithopter untap land, but I think it's a bit better to be able to Heights next turn. Although if they ensnaring bridge, then we can't Heights next turn. Can cage. Okay, so I guess the plan now is to try to cage. Oh, okay, well they've milled me. But if we had caged into an Emrakul, then we can then cast Emrakul, then Witch Enchanter them. Instead, we get to play another game like this, which I'm having fun. This is very funny. This is our first time casting, like our first game where we get to cast Packbeast, and it's like, it's not really a game. All right, so another lantern, another ensnaring bridge. They don't have a lantern yet. I think I need to Witch Enchanter the Saga so they don't get the lantern. Okay, we'll keep a cage. Although they're just gonna mill me, so it doesn't really matter. If we can't attack, why are we putting relevant cards under lands? Wouldn't we want a chance to draw them? Well, we might attack with 3 Ornithopters. Oh, they top decked the Lantern. That sucks. They are just going to mill again, but maybe the card underneath would be good. Okay, Ajani. Oh, the Ajani got milled too, dang. I guess I'm in start discard mode again. I've got the mental fortitude for this. Maybe we should have played this because of the dress, though. Probably should have. Now, bottom that, keep it in the deck, and then leave a bad card on top for them to mill. Love the weekend stream by Sunups. Hell yeah. Okay, there's the Pixis. They found it pretty early. And then they've milled it, and then they can cast it off the Emery. Winning this game does seem pretty unlikely at this point. Let's go to game 3. Man with the 7 months, thank you, welcome back. Yeah, no, I think you want to put good cards under Windbrisk Heights because you might attack with 3 Ornithopters, but I don't know. This game was kind of uncharted territory, of course. I think the Orchids are good, probably better than Voice. Yeah, it's probably true, yeah. Is Chant not good? I do think it's not good. Interesting. Like the thing with Chant seems it's like, okay, I can stop you from casting a spell. Yeah, people have talked about Gearhulk Lantern. I don't think it's something that really makes a lot of sense to me, but follow your heart. So I think I'm going to cast the Packbeast because this isn't a good hit off the heights. So I want to dig a little bit deeper for a good hit. Okay, so do I want to get Witch Enchanter? Yes. Obviously, the cage has some big upside. I think we just take the Enchanter, though. The no attacks, and then we'll see if they can empty their hand here. But it's very likely they won't be able to get all 3 cards out of their hand. Oh, dang, they have a second bridge, though. And they can get all 3 cards out of their hand. Okay, so the good news is we've got double Horizon Canopy, which can play around the Pixis that they're going to get here. Why no attacks? Oh, sorry, I thought I should have attacked last turn. We missed a damage then, or 2 damage. So they're probably going to tap the Pixis here. Up to 5 damage? Well, no, I'm never jumping Guide with Souls there, am I? Because I feel like I need to keep my creatures small for the bridge. Probably portable hold the Ornithopter. What a matchup. Alright, so they don't let me draw the Warden. He'll just mill my lands now? Is that a problem? Gonna let me draw my Packbeast? Does let me draw the Packbeast. Interesting. Not really any reason to play it now. What's our out? The Emrakul. This is how we won game 1. Was Emrakul just shuffling my library and they can't, and they deck before I do. It's unclear if they have a method to beat this, but there's not really any reason to concede because it worked game 1. And what's nice is, like, in theory, so they have Pixises for Emrakuls, right? But we can just draw an Emrakul off the Horizon Canopy. And also every time they Pixis, they exile their own card too, which is kind of fun. Fun being a very much a word here. All right, so I guess I'll leave up the second Canopy sack here. So they activate the Pixis. I draw the Emrakul. And then they make me shuffle again, so they're down to Lantern. Then I draw an Ajani, which is a pretty good one to draw. And then, oh no, I didn't activate. Oh, no, sorry. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but -1 of our 4 Emrakuls. So there's an Emery. Could play a Packbeast here. I think it's okay. Like, they're just going to mill me, but maybe I'll draw something good underneath it. Like that. Like, they may also not realize how good this Ajani is. Okay, I mean, they have the Pixis, so I don't feel like tapping this is good. Seems like they do realize how good it is, though. How does the cat die? You legend roll Ajani's, so not that often. Discard Emrakul to hand size might be enough to win time. Well, winning on time does seem likely, but game 1 it was just enough to win. Like they just could not beat me having 4 Emrakuls in my deck. Like this is already a game we've played. They're gonna let me draw this cage. Okay, not gonna let me draw the cage. I think I was supposed to draw since their Emery is really good. When was I supposed to draw? I was supposed to draw when there was an Emrakul on top of my library for sure, but I had missed that one up. The Ajani and the Pixis would exile my Ajani and their Emery. I don't know that matters almost at all. Like them casting their Emery is kind of just good for me because it mills them for 4. In fact, this was a big problem for them last game is they kept shuffling Emerys on the top of their library because they couldn't draw it, and then they would accidentally draw it anyways. You just don't know the matchup dynamics, I guess. Sorry, just kidding. Now, I do think I'm going to be discarding cards instead of casting spells so I can shuffle them back in eventually. Are they going to shred something back? 5 mana, Mox Amber. They're floating 5, 6 mana. They have 0 cards in their hand. So this is a Codex Shredder activation for something. For a Thoughtseize. Okay, so they're going to Thoughtseize my Emrakul, which is okay. Now they only have 1... Okay, nothing good on top here, unfortunately. Maybe I should play the Warden out. No, I don't think so. I just need to have 7 cards in my hand. Yeah, we're dead in the Chally. They have a Duress on top, so we'll play this out. Okay, make me draw here. There's an Ajani on top, which I can't really afford to do. Wait, did they tap Pixis? They tapped Pixis. They're shuffling the Haywire Might. It's also surprising. I guess it's not really doing anything this game like it did last game. Three minutes, 30 seconds on their clock. What a match, huh? Play Warden now. Warden just doesn't seem like it does anything except dig them to my good cards faster, which I don't want. Okay, so here's an Emrakul, which I draw off the Windbrisk Heights. Then they make me shuffle. Okay, so now this is going to be weird. I guess it was already kind of weird, huh? No, you can only activate this as a sorcery. So they shred my cage, and then they're going to Pixis this. But what if there's another Emrakul underneath? Okay, there's a cage which they have to shred. Ajani which they have to shred. And a Sunbaked Canyon which they have to shred. So come on, bang. Oh no, not basic planes, dude. We were so close to greatness. Yeah, I know it would have been GG's if we could have made them go to time, but trying to be kind of sporting here. So I think I only have 2 Emrakuls left, right? This is my draw step, not my upkeep. Not that that really matters that much. Why aren't I playing Wardens? They don't do anything. You can only activate them at sorcery speed. Well, it was a good fight, I think. Yeah, I guess I maybe messed up by discarding all these Guide of Souls, though. Or I discarded like 2 Guide of Souls. If I hadn't done that, I could have gone jump for 6, then jump for 6, maybe? Yeah, I know it was a win if we didn't concede game 2, but I like to concede when I'm 0%. Just like I'm conceding here, even though they might time out. Yeah, I think if we had played out 2 more guide, I don't know if I discarded 1 guide or 2, but obviously that game is fucking weird. And like they didn't have to let me draw the Ornithopter anyways, so for whatever that's worth, I'm gonna stop here. I feel like this is a good stopping point for today. Kind of sad always when you like make a mistake in the challenge early and it just kind of cascades through the whole stream, but that's tournament magic. That's tournament magic. I do still like the Jeskai deck. I'm going to raid Jinji, who is still in the challenge, playing Boros Energy.